Blessed be y'all, this is Jen Freemind. I hope there's enough light here for you to see me. You had a couple of videos that I did that were kind of dark, but then again, I was doing kind of shadow stuff, shadow work and stuff like that, so I decided to leave it like that. What can you do with this in your spiritual practice? This is just a regular dice, or die, I should say. But there's an interesting little game. I think I probably showed this before, but I've been thinking about this because I've been thinking about how I use different belief systems in my world. There's this book called Liber Null. And I originally got this book from, there's a site called Occult Underground. It's occult-underground.com. And they've got a lot of free ebooks on there that you can download. And that's where I originally got a copy of this. And interesting thing about this book, I finally got a paper copy, but I've still had the same phenomenon. Uh, when I first got the book and I read it, I read it about 3 times, cover to cover. And, then I went in my practice. And what it is actually a kind of it's the public handbook to the IoT, which is a chaos magic fraternity. And, I went along thinking, well, maybe I'm at this degree level or that degree level or whatever. And, so later on I went back in the book to see, how I'm progressing through the things. Because it shows in there, this level you need to be able to do this or that or the other thing. And what I found is all the stuff had changed. And I was like, okay, well, this is an electronic file, maybe somebody's just fucking with me. But everything changed. And what I figured out finally was that, it's the kind of thing that does change through time because it's an interesting book. Because I've even found that with my printed copy here, and I don't think there's somebody coming in to change out my printed copy just to drive me crazy. And I don't think it's my mind is that faulty that I can't remember anything either. I think it's that when you do this magical practice stuff, that you step from one timeline to another timeline, and everything isn't quite the same in that other timeline. And I think that's where a lot of stuff that people say, oh, you must have been mistaken. Oh, you just misremembered. No, you didn't. I don't think. I think you step from one timeline to another, and in this timeline, the timeline you're on right now, whatever that was didn't happen. Or it didn't happen the way you remember it. And I don't know how accurate our memories are in the first place, because everything gets colored with stuff. But anyway, back to this. I'm getting off the subject here. Back to this. In here there is this is on page 72. And it's an exercise in random belief. Now, go and get yourself a die. Go down to the Walgreens. You can pick those up there with the playing cards and stuff. Just where I got that. And you decide you're going to be in this system of thinking for, say, a day, a week, a month, something like that. And then you'll change later. And like if you roll a 1, that's paganism. There's quite a bit of reading to this, so I'm just going to do a little bit of each one of these. The gods show themselves in all things, in the elements, tempestuous and placid by turns, in the sea and the mountains, the green fields, in the hail and the lightning. They show themselves in the various animals, and they show themselves in the materials and stones. So, basically, uh, the gods show themselves in the world, and there's various gods for various things. Now, for two, that is monotheism. There is but one God who created everything. He created man in his own image. He gave man free will to do good or evil. Good is what pleases God, evil is what displeases him. And it goes on and on. But what I thought about with that too is if you want to play this game too, think of different ways that God could be the one God. Now, do you want to be the Christian God? Do you want to be the Muslim God? Do you want to be the all that is in Hermetics? Do you want the God to be Zoroaster? Interesting idea. Try your different monotheistic approaches. Or the God is the sun, the God is the moon, the God is the universe. You could take this whole thing and turn it into a different belief system just for monotheism. Or just for paganism, for that matter. Okay, this day I'm going to follow this god or goddess. Depending on, just make it up, say, okay, I'm going to follow this one. If it rolls this, I'm going to follow this one. If it rolls... Interesting idea. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, 3 is atheism. The idea of God or a personal soul is the hypothesis that we have no need of. Besides, there is not the slightest scrap of evidence that will stand up to examination. Let's stick to the real, shall we? I found that one really hard to do. Number 4 is nihilism. Material causality is everything. Science can probably explain away everything. There is nothing which cannot, the cause cannot be something else. So that one I could get into that one a little bit. That atheism one I've done this exercise. So the atheism one is the hardest one that I have found for me anyway. 5 chaoticism. As above, so below. I am the universe. The life force in us is the life force of the universe. The subtle force in us, the ether, is the subtle force of the universe. The gross matter in us is the gross matter of the universe. To chaos, nothing is true and everything is permitted. Just pretty much, everything's a lie, so anything is possible. Then we get to number 6, which is superstition or low chaoticism. All phenomenon having come from one source, there exist mysterious connections between things and similarities. All like things, contain the same signature or essence. They share the same spirit. This essence or spirit can go into other things by bringing the signature-bearing object into contact with whatever is being treated. This is the principle of contagion. And I can get into that one pretty easily. Although I can't remember actually rolling that and getting into it, but I could probably get into that uh, because I do see the connections between things and stuff like that a lot. But this is an exercise that takes you out of the norm, takes you out of you know uh, what you might think things are supposed to be like, so that you can try on a different belief system, you know, just for a while, and see how it fits you. You know, when I first started out in magic, I was very much tied to the Christian belief system, and then I shed that, and even though I could step into other things, um, because of the chaos magic studies, I could step into other things, but my usual walking around thing was still Christian. And then later it became what I would call modern American neo-paganism, uh, was my usual walking around modality. And probably today I would describe it more as humanism as defined by every person has the innate ability to make their world better. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I hope this helps you out. And go try it out. You know, you can find this book for free at a lot of places, or you can order it. This edition, it's usually paired with a book called The Psychonaut, which is I think also by Peter Carroll. But yeah, you can get this online a lot of places, and it's a pretty easy read. And anybody who's into chaos magic, it's a pretty basic book that most people read. So that's all I have for right now. Oh, I'm coming up on my 100th video, so I'm thinking about ideas for how I can celebrate that sort of thing. If you got any ideas, put them down below here, and I'll see what I can do. I thought I might do a retrospective or something like that. So, anyway, blessed be y'all. This is Jen Fremont.